Hello, and welcome to Bandy, a podcast about being flexible and all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your convulsive, shaky hosts. Joining me, as always, is our other convulsive and shaky host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
I was curious. I was like, how is he?
I was like,
What
what
are they?
directs? What directs?
Verbs? Are you
Yeah.
describing word? I'm just playing Mad Libs. I should know this.
Um, I am terrible at English grammar, like truly awful in terms of like naming stuff. And I remember having like when I taught English in.
And you're like, this is an adverb.
Yeah. Well, like I had to go back and I had to like, oh God, I need to figure all this stuff out. And it just doesn't stick in my head at all. Like I know how to use them, but in terms of like labeling them, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Forget about it.
hmm hmm One of these times we have to do Mad Libs on here because nothing makes me cry laugh more than Mad Libs, I think.
I what is Mad Libs? Because I don't think it's a
Oh
thing.
God. Okay. Yeah. So Harper has, so basically it's like they tell a story, but they like let you fill in, words, numbers, and so you the other person doesn't know whatever the story is about, and so you're like, give me a describing word, and they're like stinky, and like
Okay.
give me a number, 10,000. So we did one about like some Taylor Swift concert and how like, Jack Black sharded and like,
Okay.
the
Okay.
kids are
Okay.
like dying laughing. So yeah,
So
so
it's
I'll
is it like a improv thing almost?
yeah, yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Sort of.
Okay. Okay.
I'll next time we do, I'll just run through one with you.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, okay. And then we'll both laugh.
Okay.
Okay. So the crack. Okay. So like you and I and Mike almost went to Burning Man last year, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't because they didn't give you a scholarship, and then I broke up with them
Yeah.
officially.
Uh-huh.
So it's Burning Man week. It's the worst weather they've ever had. It's like
Uh-huh.
gives me such joy. This is terrible. This is my joy. It's like other people's misery. I'm such a horrible human being. But it's like the weather is terrible. They had 85-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh
So
wow.
everyone's shit is like blowing over. And then last night they had thunderstorms. They had to shut the gate down for like 20 hours, which means you can't leave. No one can
Jeez.
come in and no one can go out except for like medics and police and FBI. Um,
Sure.
but it's just like the photos and the stories that are coming out of it. Like you should get on Reddit and just
Oh
read what
really?
people are saying. Except for the guy that's like, "Hey, if anyone is at BRC, I'm in Gerlach, and I really love. I would love it if I could buy some of your like stinky socks or shoes."
Oh
Just a
wow,
guy
really?
that's got a foot fetish. Everyone's like piling on him. Anyways, so it's a shit show, and like we always had like a couple weeks ago, Mike was like, we could just get a ticket and maybe I'll just go. And now it's like, good thing you didn't because
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a fucking shit show.
It seemed like I got the impression based with like the emails and stuff I was getting that they maybe weren't selling out quite as quickly as previous
No,
years either.
no, no. They basically 2007 was the last good year. 2008 was around the time that Instagram became a thing and they
Okay.
started putting cell towers out there. So before that, like you couldn't text, no one could
Cool.
call you. So it was really like this off-grid event. And then Instagram became a thing. And then tech bros got involved. And now like Elon Musk is funding the whole thing basically.
Good,
So
cool.
yeah, I know, right?
Amazing. What an amazing development for
I
anything.
know. Yeah.
Uh, I
So
I did a quick search for Burning Man on Reddit, and one of the first headlines I saw was Burning Man orgy dome completely
it's
destroyed by winds.
yeah,
I'm like
yes, it
amazing.
totally yeah, they've been around forever. And they posted something, they were like, yeah, we really, worked hard to erect, haha, you know, our
Nice.
orgy dome structure this year. But yeah, like and those guys have been out there for like, I don't know, 25, 20 years. So they know how to build a structure. But at a
Yeah.
certain point, right, it's just like you can't withstand 85 mile an hour winds
100%. There's
with a
like a lot
Costco
of
shade structure.
A lot of like, yeah, I was gonna say a lot of like actual standing structure are gonna struggle with that, but that's a whole other level.
Yeah.
Wild,
Yeah.
wild, wild, wild.
And then my son's birthday is today.
Yes, nice. That rocks.
So yeah, he's very excited. It's
Um,
cute.
that is
Like
cute.
kids getting excited about birthdays, you know?
No, absolutely. I think I remember, and I think I said it on here, was
Mhm.
it kind of reminded me of the joy of birthdays, like seeing him have his birthday last year. It's like, oh, this
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah. He's been like counting presents as I've been bringing them out and putting them in like in the front room. And he's like, there's like, he's got like 22 presents. So, anyways,
Good man. I like to hear it.
yeah, his needs are simple.
Perfect. Um,
What about you, friend?
so the most notable things I was texting Beth about this over the weekend is that I went to an American football game, one of your American football games, or sorry, football games, I should say.
Yeah.
And
What are you talking
what are you
about?
talking about? There's no such thing. Have you heard of the other term that like sometimes is used outside of America and like they call it gridiron? Gridiron.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
I don't like it at all. Um, I have my problems with American football considering how rarely the ball touches anyone's foot, but it's whatever. Um, anyway, went to a college game. It was Kansas State versus Iowa State. Yes, it was, I believe.
Yes.
And like how these things work is so essentially every year, for the past 12 years, I believe, there's one of the Irish Airlines kind of hosts a couple of college teams and they play a game. So as it began, two friends. One friend was supporting one side, the other friend was supporting the other side, and I decided that I wanted to vote or I wanted to support a draw and everybody having a nice time and enjoying themselves.
Yes.
But pretty quickly, I because like what I find, and I don't think I realized this in previous years, is that one team is hosting. So it's them, their bands are out front and
Yes.
everything. So as soon as I realized which team was hosting, I was like, well, they're clearly they're higher ranked, so they're a team of
Hmm.
the underdogs. I always kind of want to support the
Yeah.
underdogs, so I did support the
Yeah.
underdogs. It
It's
was a
called
fun,
the home team advantage.
yes,
Yeah.
but there was such a great an incredible selection of fans from both sides. You know what I mean? There was like tons of fans there, and it was just a really fun day out.
It was
Like
like you sent pictures. It was
it
crowded.
was, it was
I
filled
was
like, and
like,
it
I'm surprised. Like who flies to I mean, I will say like you get graduates like
true.
alumni that have money that, will be like,
I,
I want to go to Ireland,
I think
Northern
that's
Ireland.
exactly it, isn't it? It's just people with money who want a trip to Ireland, and it's like, well, why
Yep.
not support our team when we're out there, you know?
Yep. Yep.
But it was good. It was a good time. And there was a guy sitting in front of me who had been given the tickets, and he turned around to us and he goes, "Do you know how this game works?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do, but I don't think I really want to spend the time explaining it to you right now, to be honest with you." Um, and by the end, I was like, "Have you figured it out yet?" And he's like, "No, but I'm loving it." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's
Good.
good. That's all that matters."
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was great fun. The other thing that I did was over the weekend, before I did this, was I did a foot mask. Do you know what a foot mask is?
I do.
Okay, so essentially I guess similar to what you would do whenever you're wearing a face mask for like
Yes.
pri getting rid of the top layer of skin except for your feet. And I've done one before, but I haven't done them for many, many years. And like I was, commenting that my feet were in bad shape, so they maybe needed something. So my girlfriend got me this, and like, so my feet look like I have some really desperate medical condition. I look like a zombie. And it's not good because like I'm a yoga teacher, so like I'm like molting, like, and I'm taking the time to like wash, having a shower and then like peeling some of the skin off, but I'm still like teaching yoga and molting on the mat as I'm teaching. So it's like, oh, this is not ideal.
It's like dandruff but your feet. That's
Yes,
disgusting.
right?
What would the guy in Gerlach say about your feet?
It's true.
He'd probably be all over it. I'm
Probably.
gonna go send him a message on Reddit and be like, so are you into skin
Just
falling off
skin
of your feet?
peeling off feet. Uh, have I got some pics for you? But yeah, it was gross, but it was fun, and it's like I think my feet are already feeling better for it, which I'm pleased about. But like it's a whole process, and I'd forgotten how much of a process it is.
Yeah. I've done it once and it's like I remember just like laying on the bed and like your foot's in this bag and then you've got like tape around the
Yes,
bag and it feels like squishy and weird.
yes,
But it's like feet don't get enough attention in general, you know? And it's like sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll just like rub my own feet and I'll be like, "Oh my God, this feels so good." Or
yeah,
I'll rub the kids' feet and they're like, "This feels so good." And I could pay to go get a pedicure, right? And so could you. But
yeah.
it's like there's something about someone else um sitting below you, touching your feet that feels classist to me,
I see what you're saying.
and I have a hard time with it.
Yeah. Like, that feels like it extends to so many acts of service to me. Like,
Uh-huh.
I,
Uh-huh.
unless somebody's getting well paid to do this thing for me, whether it's touch my feet or give me a massage, it
Yes.
feels kind of icky to me. I don't know why.
Yes. It's same. And I don't know. It's not like, and then it's a good thing, right? It's like
Yeah,
works out the muscles, and you your fascia needs work, and
it
it's
does.
like good. It's good. It's just, uh, yeah, I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
It freaks me out.
And I guess was, some people love that shit though. I suppose they just like people like waiting on them or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, foot mask. I think that's it. Do you have any what's occurring for us?
I do. So someone said we did a movie episode, um, and they were like, I have things to say, but first of all, I wanted to let you know, in a brief bit of movie news, Spider-Man Brand New Day is filming in Glasgow this
Yes.
month. In the city center, I mostly work from home, but once every 2 weeks we go into the office and it's pretty much around the corner from the shoot. Gonna try and catch a glimpse this Thursday. They're filming some chase scenes and they've decorated the streets with yellow cabs to double as New York City,
Amazing.
which I just like. I love that part of movie making where it's like on the other side of the world, yet they're the tax incentives or whatever, is worth making it, dressing it up and making it look like New York.
I saw a thing recently where it was like, states should stop relying on that stuff. I mean, there's always like, oh no, they're leaving LA. Oh no, they're leaving Atlanta, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, it's always going to be that way. They just go to the place that offers them the best tax incentives, and
Yes.
it's as
Yes.
simple as that, you know.
Yeah.
And if that
Yeah.
means flying to to Europe, or that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious whether I recognize any stuff like I did in the Batman, the Robert Pattinson one. I
Hmm.
definitely recognized some of Glasgow whenever I saw it, and I'm wondering whether it'll be the same for Spider-Man. And like, I'm assuming there'll be a lot more CGI and stuff like that for this, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just exciting, like watching Short Circuit and being like, oh my God, it's Astoria, Oregon.
Yeah,
Like seeing your hometown uh feels fun. And
it
also
does.
Spider-Man. I'm like and he sent some photos and
I think
it's cool. It just looks cool.
it does. It really does. Like, and I saw some of the ones from there as well, and it really did look cool. And I'm gonna say, like, by and large, for me, whenever I've seen things, it's that I recognize from real life, it's nothing I know super well. So it was like really mind blowing whenever it was the castle, the Carrickfergus Castle in the D&D
Hmm.
movie was
Yeah.
really nuts,
Yeah. I
very
just like
nuts.
it bothers me from that movie that it takes the whole movie to get to that point.
Yeah, it's true.
So I've like watched the first half, like waiting, and then like end up going and doing other things.
Doesn't happen
Um,
for
I
ages.
know, I know. They should have,
Well,
yeah, started at the whole thing should have just been filmed at the castle. So cool that like the D&D movie was like filmed in your town.
I agree. Yeah, no, it's nice, and it's a good sort of castle to use for it as well. I think.
Yeah, just like right there.
It's nuts, but yeah, it really was.
You're like staring at it from the parking lot at the supermarket.
Yeah, so funny. Um,
You probably don't notice it because it's just like part of, the lay of the land.
100% it is. It's
Yeah.
just it's completely like invisible to me. It's just
Yep.
completely merges into the background. But it
Yep.
is, I've seen people come into town and be like, "Whoa!" Um, I am. I need to bring it up just what I'm on because I'm on
Okay.
Reddit, and one of the recent subreddits I joined because people will enjoy this sort of thing is illegally small cats, and small spelt
Oh,
SMOL. It's a pretty cute Reddit, folks.
oh.
Right?
Do you have an active account and do you post?
I don't post, but I do have an active account. I sometimes post, but like by and large, if I post, it's things like responding to board game questions and things like that. If
Mhm,
people are like, I'm looking for some good two-player recommendations, and I'm like,
mhm.
oh, this is good for this, blah blah blah. That would be the lion's share of what I post. I don't think I ever do posts of my own. So very occasionally, if I'm looking for information, like I use the like sysadmin um subreddit to find information and stuff in the past. So it can be useful, but by and large, I'm a lurker.
Yeah. That's okay to be a lurker. I'm
Yeah,
just like I just opened an account, I don't know, like a month ago. And like I would look at it, but you don't need to have a username or anything. I
no,
just didn't know, I didn't understand how much I could love something, and it feels like I'm back in like the 90s
yeah,
on like message boards. And I feel like people should have like blogs again,
yes. I mean, yeah, it's interesting, and I
live
have.
journal.
Yeah. Because there's like Substack, which is kind of that, but like I couldn't crack that. I think I needed to find people who were really
It's
kind of speaking to me.
yeah, and part of it is like the anonymity of it.
Yeah,
And
true.
Substack doesn't quite give you that same anonymity
True.
as like original live journal, because like yeah, people had fake names and you're just like reading about their lives and then like, you know, becoming
It's
friends
it's true.
and then being like IRL friends.
I'm
Sorry.
still I'm still on a forum. I think I'm sure I've talked about this before, like
Mhm.
from 30 years ago. It's not.
That's so
Uh
cool.
it was great. I still love it. Anyway, right. I feel like I've been very distracted so
It's
far.
fine. Nobody
So
cares.
that's true. All right,
They're not like
focus. They're like, Andy, getting task. It's this long into the podcast. Now you have to move on to this bit. Okay. Um. So we move on to our topic for the week.
yes.
Okay. So this week's episode, we're back to the movie Test of Time. This
Mhm.
time we are looking at Tremors, which
Not Tremors 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, but
no,
Tremors 1.
arguably all superior. I'm joking. I'm
Yes.
joking. Um. Uh. This is like at this point, this movie in particular has become almost like a religious text to me,
Agreed.
I know it really well, but it is nice kind of watching it again and like with a more, slightly more analytical perspective on it, but yeah, Tremors.
I kind of like tried to do analytical and then I was just like enjoying the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So I just okay, so Tremors came out in what, 1990?
Yes.
So it like late like later than I thought for some reason. And so basically a small town gradually becomes aware of a strange creature which picks off people one by one. But what is this creature and where is it? At the same time, a seismologist, I love it. Yeah, we we all learned about seismology because of this movie. Is working in the area. She detects tremors. The current creature lives underground and can pop up without warning. Trapped in their town, the town kind of escape. So it's like that's basically the basic premise. Um, I love this movie.
It's so good. So good. Like, it's just immediately fun.
It's immediately fun.
I I mean, because like immediately you're introduced to your two kind of leads. They're both incredible. You just kind of want to spend all the time with them. They're just so much
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
But it's interesting because it had me thinking about, I suppose, this kind of push and pull I have with movies generally, which is that like I really kind of like it when um movies get to spend time with characters. You get to like, organically kind of build them up and their relationships and things like that. But I also really love it when a movie's just like, here's your cast, let's go. And that's exactly what Tremors is, and it just like
Yes.
is so propulsive. It's amazing.
Yes. And I will say like there can be movies where it's like here's your cast, let's go. And you're just like it feels like a little bit like you're on a roller coaster ride.
Yes.
Like you can't get off and you can't look away.
Yeah.
And that happens so rarely for me. And like we were talking about last time, like I cared so much about the characters and like a
Yeah.
lot of their they improvised a lot also. So like there's this one scene where Valentine and Earl are like these two dudes and they're basically okay, so it's set in this little tiny town called Perfection, which is like population 14 people,
Yeah.
somewhere in like, the desert area of California. Um, I think it's actually filmed in Lone Pine, California, which is like in the Sierra Mountains. So it's really pretty. But the two of them are like the odd job people for the whole town. So they're the ones that deal with sewage. They're the ones that deal with the trash. They're the ones that like fix the fences. But there's this like one scene at the very beginning where Kevin Bacon's character, who plays Valentine, is like trying to hammer a nail into the fence. And it takes him like 10 times. And on the 10th time, he finally hits the nail. And like that was all improvised. And like, so
Amazing.
yeah, Earl's reaction was like real one. Who's like, oh, you fucking idiot, you finally got it. So it's just funny. Like they're bad at what they do. They're bitching about living in this town, but like you start to know the townspeople and like they're just lovely. And
They
it's
are.
like it harkens back to a time for me where I'm like, you know, I don't know all my neighbors. I don't know what they do. I don't know their schedule. I don't, like occasionally one will be like, "Can you check our mail while I'm out of
Yes.
town?" But it's not like, you know, that real deep knowledge of everyone and like knowing their quirks. And I'm jealous like they had that kind of like family dynamic in a town.
Like I think that, there's so much of this that like feels it could be like a town this size feels unrealistic a little bit. Do you know what I mean? If you really think about it, especially that there is a shop. Why would a shop exist to serve that few people? It couldn't last. But like it doesn't matter at the same time, and also the geography of the place, a lot of it doesn't really add up, but none of it matters because like the characters are great, how they interact is great, it's shot
Mhm.
brilliantly, it's just and also like I also kind of have questions. I don't know whether these are answered by the sequels. They may very well be, but like I always kind of find it nuts that these things just kind of show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can get into that because I was reading about, you know, the concept and they thought about actually trying to explain like, was it an alien or was it like a
Yeah.
government, you know, plot gone wrong? And they were like, we're not going to explain it. We're going to
Although
leave it
I
open-ended.
I think it's great. I mean, like, because like I am very much against over explaining things anyway. I think it is the
Yeah.
death of so many like
Yes. Yes.
franchises. Where they're like,
Yes.
let's go back and explain these things that nobody really cared about. It's like,
Yep.
hooray! Um, so I definitely respect it for that. I really do.
Can I back up real quick?
Sure.
So there are places, and I've been to them, like at least definitely in California, definitely in Oregon, where um Mike and I were like dating or maybe like early married, and he was like, let's go out to Fields, Oregon. And I was
Hmm.
like, okay. And it's like, I don't know, like an 8 hour drive from Portland east. And it's a
Hmm.
population of like 5 people
Hmm.
to the point where people have airplanes to fly to the next town or whatever town, and that's how they go grocery shopping.
Wild.
Yeah. So like you will have these towns where like the market will be the post office, the clothing store, like everything you could possibly need, right? That's what they have. So it's not that far out of
It's not complete.
reality
Interesting.
in the States at
I
least.
think, yeah, it's maybe just
Yeah.
that. I mean, we do have small towns, and I suppose as well because you know, we are all obviously it's much more compact here. Do you know what I mean? So like you wouldn't maybe
Mhm.
get there isn't really the geography to have somewhere that's like literally in the middle of nowhere, literally one road into town, that sort of thing. It just doesn't really happen. So yeah,
Right.
it feels unusual to me. Again, not a criticism, but it's just like sometimes as I was thinking about it, I was like, a few little things that occur to me. None of these things take away from how good the movie is, though.
Agreed. Agreed. So, do you want to know where the concept of the like, because I was like, who comes up with this idea, right?
Sure.
So it's the same guys that wrote Short Circuit,
Oh,
Estes
really?
Wilson, Brent Maddock, and I think Ron Underwood maybe wasn't, but I know Brent Maddock and Estes Wilson both wrote Short Circuit. So the concept, um, the writer S.S. Wilson was serving as an editor at a base for the Navy as a filmmaker. And he was hiking one day over large boulders that involved pole vaulting, and he suddenly thought, what if something was under the ground and I couldn't get off this rock? And there's a scene where they're like,
Amazing.
because the tremors are like coming from the ground. So at this one point, they're like pole vaulting from boulder to boulder.
Hmm.
And I live in a place where that's like feasible. We have boulders like that everywhere. But I was like, some pole vaulter was like, fuck yes.
Yeah,
Or these three pole vaulters, they were like professional pole vaulters, finally get their time
I love that
in a
that's
movie.
this it's so that's so true. And I love that basically that scene or like them doing that and they kind of backed into a larger story from there.
Yeah,
Nuts, great.
yeah, so good. So, but basically, because Short Circuit was so popular, their agent was like, all right, like what other ideas?
What
Like
else
beat
you
the
got?
bushes. And yeah, and so they were calling them, they worked with National Geographic, and to understand like zoology a little bit more and created this like land shark idea, which I think they probably stole from Dune, honestly, because it looks so similar.
Probably.
Except for the mouth. Um, but yeah, they were gonna call it land sharks or Beneath Perfection, but then they changed it to Tremors, which I think
Ooh,
was the right choice.
yeah, I do quite like Beneath Perfection though. That's quite nice.
I know,
I
I
think there's
know.
something there. Um, but yeah, that rocks. And it rocks that like I mean, especially after Jurassic Circuit, I think was pretty successful. Like obviously it got a sequel.
Well,
So
it's
like
crazy that like I don't know. Like I'm glad Short Circuit existed because if that didn't exist, then we probably wouldn't have ever gotten Tremors.
yeah,
And that is I can't, there is no world without this movie, right? I don't want to
yeah,
live in a world without it.
so true. Um Yeah, so like the thing I've been looking at was the director.
Mm.
Um, so it's a guy called Ron Underwood. So it's always kind of fascinating to like zoom out and kind of look at these guys' careers. Like he did do
It
City
is.
Slickers, which is
Oh, God, I haven't watched that in a long time.
it's an other one, and like I wonder whether it would hold up. I don't know,
Uh-huh.
but like
They made a second one.
yeah, Legend of Curly's Gold. I don't know why I remember that.
How do
Um,
you remember
I don't
that?
know. But then he also did The Adventures of Pluto Nash, which is the only one I fully recognize, which was the Eddie Murphy vehicle that I think was just uh, perhaps
The
the end of his movie
the end of his
career.
movie career. Uh-huh.
And then he went on, he did a ton of like, TV stuff, but he seems to have like stayed apart from like missing one of the sequels in the kind of Tremors verse and just kind of,
Mhm.
you know, done Tremors movies. And like I understand why. I think like he shot it really well. Like I think there's so much cool stuff. Like there's a few kind of like tracking shots and things like that he did that I thought were absolutely fantastic. There's one, I can't remember the name of the character. There's like a more minor character gets knocked off his caravan, gets eaten, and you see he's eaten and he's dragged along the ground. It follows him being dragged underground, and then it like pans up to Melvin on the toilet and he's just freaking out. I'm like,
Hmm.
that's really good. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Um, there was a scene in the very beginning where what's nice is there are little themes or words that are, you know, scattered throughout the movie, and then you're like, okay, like they really worked hard on keeping themes and moving the story along.
Yes.
So at the very beginning, Val wakes up Earl, who's in a sleeping bag and looks like a giant worm, by yelling Stampede. And like he like falls out of the back of the truck and he's like, "Why did you wake me up?" But then it's like he looks like a tremor, right?
Hmm.
And then at the very end, that's how they get away is by doing the Stampede.
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true. It's
yeah.
true.
So just like even just like working those things in to the script, I was like, yeah.
It,
And the
it
dead
re
guy in the power line,
yes.
like fucking genius.
It really is. And like it really kind of like builds nicely, it's almost, geez, is that a horror film?
I'm
I
so
think it is.
okay. So I went down a Reddit hole and yes, basically, like there was a big debate. Is it a horror film? Is it a monster horror film? But then the Reddit separate or the basically it just turned into everyone being like, we love Tremors so much.
Yeah.
And finally it was like the original poster was like, okay, you guys really love Tremors. So I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah.
But
That's probably the most
but I
accurate
think
idea.
I would say it's a horror. It's like there's this fine genre of comedy horror where it's like, you know, a lot of comedy horror like is really gratuitous. The other one that I can think of just off the top of my head is obviously Shaun of the Dead,
Yeah.
which is the best comedy horror movie ever. But like this is really, it's not like there's
It's
so
not,
much humor that's
it's
woven
true.
through
It's,
that
yes.
it could have been scary, but they made it very character driven and
Yes.
story driven and not as much gore because
Yeah.
apparently they couldn't afford to show too m much of the worms because they couldn't afford it. So they were like, all right, well, we'll use a little because okay, these worms have like t like tongues
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
also have mouths on them. And so they were like, okay, we'll just use those more so you don't have to do the big worm scenes as much. And that they found that that actually worked better. Um, so anyways,
It's a really neat piece of design, I must say. It really is. Yeah, it's so, yeah, really cool. Um,
all to say,
mhm.
I think it is a horror movie, but it's a comedy horror movie. And I
Yes,
really want to like dig more into the genre because I
that's,
like these types of movies.
yes, I think that's, yeah, that's what I was trying to circle back to was, yeah, it's because it builds on a horror movie. It escalates in terms of the stakes, in terms of you finding out what's going on, and in terms of like not kind of giving it away too early, then like, revealing like there's more than one of them, and so on and so forth. It just expands in such a like really beautiful, organic way. It really does.
Yeah. Like I don't think you see one for the first like until like I don't know, 50 minutes in or something. So it's just this like foreboding thing, but like they're kind everyone's kind of dopey, right? And doesn't understand what's going on and you know, as an audience member you can see, but the actors can't kind of thing and you're
Yeah,
like, I always enjoy yelling at the television.
it's a
It's
good
right behind you.
it's a good TV yeller for sure. Um, yeah, just absolutely wonderful. I'm looking at so whenever I was looking into the music.
Hmm.
So the composer is Ernest Trust, and I kind of say this with love, but I feel like his soundtrack is functional, but like perfect for, what it's trying to do. It's kind of like, action sort of movie, sort of feels a wee bit boilerplate, but like it hits all the right notes. It's really wonderful. And like as I say, I don't think I would have wanted anything else particularly. I think it's kind of like it's like it wouldn't be out of place with like almost like an Indiana Jones type of thing, It really in my I don't think it's got any signature pieces like an indie, but it does it works in that sort of way for me. Um, but and one of the things I was well, two things whenever I was looking into because I was looking for like Tremors music, right? And there is the two things came up: A, the movie, and B, there came up a thing that was in last year, some researchers transformed Parkinson's tremors into music. And there's this whole album that's been put together based using Parkinson's tremors as
Like
music.
the disease?
Yes.
Like the body tremors?
Yeah. And
Huh.
I guess it's a way to make like this sort of oh, I don't know. I can't use my words.
I know what you're talking
Dilapidated.
about. No.
You know it at home.
Debilitating.
Debilitating. There we go. Got
Debilitating. Oh
there.
my
Got it.
God.
Oh
Oh my
dear.
God.
Oh, my brain today. Anyway,
It's okay. It's your fault.
it's my fault. Yeah, I decided to use that word, you know. But I think it's a way to look at, to take maybe some of the sting out of that condition as a way to like, look at it in a different way and blah blah blah.
Yes.
But I thought that was quite lovely. But the other thing I wanted to know was, do we think that it was in Reba's contract that one of her songs had to be included, or vice versa? Whenever they got Reba, they're like, Reba, while you're here.
Yeah. This is like kind of like so this was one of the first times that like a musician other than like Madonna
Hmm.
had done the like especially a country music artist had done the crossover from singing into acting.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm sure it was in her contract that whatever song was in there. But it's like, yeah, like I'm like da-da, da-da, da-da-da. I'm like singing it's a very like it's not catchy,
Hmm.
but I definitely okay, so I have a it's not music, but the sounds
Hmm.
that they made for the Graboids in the movie have been popular to reuse in other films, such as Predator 2, Starship Troopers, Ants, Mosquito, Eight-Legged Freaks, and Kong Skull Island.
Wow.
I know.
How interesting. This was like one of those things like the Wilhelm screams. There's this famous scream that's used in like as a scream in like so many movies. You can recognize it. That's great.
Yeah. Or like, the Tarzan, like,
Yeah.
which was like, I remember the original Tarzan, I think was like seven male voices all like mashed together, created that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not one person.
I think that kind of makes sense because it does have like this sort of like texture to it that's kind of, I would say, would be
Yeah,
hard to make as an
yeah,
individual.
yeah.
That rocks.
But we do it anyway, don't we?
Yes, we do. We did an excellent version of it. Um, did you think like, man, so I think I was saying at the start of the episode, which was that I think that it doesn't matter that there are kind of plot holes or that there are things that aren't really kind of dealt with, like as I say, the geography of the place, the whole kind of only one road out, the fact that they
hmm
are near mountains but also near giant cliffs apparently, etc.,
hmm
etc. And I find like my first watch didn't care about any of those things, and even noticing those things, I do not care about those things.
No, that there's a giant aquifer in the middle of the desert
Yes,
for a town of 14 people, like that. No, it doesn't.
I just yeah, and just I've already seen other things like it's Walter, the store owner, has like things for hire, and I'm like, who is hiring those things, Walter?
I know.
Who's buying your products? Who's hiring your stuff? I don't
I
understand.
was like, where's Melvin's parents?
Yeah, that's true. I thought it was is Mindy the girl? I thought that was the mom.
Uh-uh.
That was the mom to it. Okay, okay.
No, so I dug into Melvin, who's this like teenager, and
Yeah,
everyone's like he's annoying and he doesn't listen, and then like he, almost gets his ass eaten. And then he's like, okay, I'll listen. But apparently, like part of the plot was like Melvin's parents just like go and to Las Vegas and like leave him there.
amazing.
That they were like, nah, whatever.
Because
Just it
he's
needs no
irritating.
explanation. He's
Yeah,
irritating.
yeah, that's fair.
You're just hoping he dies the entire
Yeah, it's
movie.
pretty amazing. There's some great jokes at his expense. Like whenever
Yeah.
the one I really like is whenever they're trying to figure out a distraction and they're like, "Hey Melvin, do you want to earn
Yeah.
$1?" And it's like people have died, and it's still like let's rib this kid,
I know.
he deserves it to be
Yeah.
clear, but
Yeah.
very funny.
There was
Uh,
a okay, so cinematically, there were some things that I thought were really clever, or like, okay, so like the guy, so at the beginning, they're like, we're leaving, we're gonna go and seek our fortune elsewhere. And then they find a friend who's like climbed a power line and has fallen asleep up there
Hmm.
apparently. And they're
Hmm.
like, oh, old Fred or whatever. And then they realize like they climb up to try and get him down. They think he's drunk and they realize he's dead. And so they go to the doctor and they're like, they've got the guy in the back of the truck and he's like, the doctor's like, speaking of plot holes, he's like, oh, he died of dehydration, right? Because I can tell because I've done no autopsy on him at all.
Yes,
He's just
yes.
like laying in the back of a truck. And they're like, well, how, like, why would he sit up there? What would be so scary that he would be like, wouldn't come down to eat or drink, right? So you're like, oh, this is weird. Um, so that was a good thing that I hadn't seen before. And then there's a scene where it's actually the doctor and his wife, and they're like building their house or whatever. So they're living in a trailer and um they turn their generator on or something, and then the worms come to get them and they eat the doctor. And then the wife
Hmm.
actually,
Hmm.
they take her car. She like runs into the car and is like honking the horn and trying to get it to go away, but she doesn't know that's what tremors love is all the noise. So it literally like sucks the car underground, and they go to like find they hear so Earl and Val go to like find the doctor and the wife, and they hear a radio being
Hmm.
played
Hmm.
underground and like move some of the dirt, and they see these headlights that are on underground, right? And they realize that the car is there, and like how did it get sucked under? And I was just like, this is so clever
It is. There's a great
and
shot.
easy to film.
It's true. There's a great shot that's part of that whenever the car's going underground and it's just from a distance. Another one I really
Yes.
liked. And you
Yes.
see the headlights and one of them disappears and the other one kind of cuts out. It was very cool.
Yeah. And they're just like shining upward into the
Yeah,
like dark, dark, dark night sky.
very cool.
Yeah. So I would say like just shot for shot, it's just, you know, I agree. There's so many plot holes and like things that don't add up with the landscape and yeah, the Sierra Mountains, and also there's giant, like canyons, but it moves so fast
Yeah,
that you just don't care.
a- absolutely. It truly, it's just nuts. And so fun. I I think that like another thing that really helped for me was that like I liked not obviously Melvin's an asshole, but I think everybody was good in it as well. Like you've got some great character actors doing fun stuff. Like I love and I gotta forget their names, the Reba McEntire's character and her husband. Them we have talked about this before. This idea of conspiracy theorists who would like live in an armored basement used to be like cool and kind of sweet. And these are the perfect
Yes.
example of them. They're seen as like cooks, but they're harmless cooks, and people get on with them just fine. But
Yeah.
they are absolutely like doomsday preppers. And those people are seen as being almost completely insane these days.
Yeah. Yeah. But in the movie, like they're like, you know, they kill one of them, don't one of the
They do,
worms, because
they do.
it busts through their bunker
Yeah,
wall because they're like, I don't know anything about bullets, but like you grind bullets or you put them in a grinder and it like vibrates them and it
yeah.
cleans them. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
was trying to remember what
Anyways,
that was. I think it's cleans bullets, but I can't remember.
and I don't, yeah, I don't know anything about it or why. So, I don't really want to know why either. So
Yeah,
someone, Bill didn't
you
need
don't
to
need
tell
that
inform
knowledge.
us. I
Yeah,
don't need that knowledge. But so it breaks through the wall, and that's the first time that no, the first time is when it runs through the aquifer, and then it like,
yes.
yeah, okay,
It smashes its
uh,
head against the wall. Yeah,
smashes
no.
its head, and we're like, what a stupid worm,
Yeah,
just like, "Eh." So, but like they grab the elephant gun and like shoot it,
it
and I was
rocks.
like, of course they have an elephant gun, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely incredible range. I mean, it's nice to see somebody with a load of guns and be like, oh, they're good fun. Or it's
Yeah.
like,
And
I feel
I
like
literally wrote like this isn't America. Is this what people think of as being like American? Like
it's true. But I mean,
because
like, that again, it's a nice version of it. If people are thinking that
yeah,
about that, you're like, oh, okay, I can
yeah,
live with that.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, they absolutely rocked. Did you have any like? Did you have any favorites amongst the cast?
I mean, Kevin Bacon, obviously, Fred Ward. So, or the two main characters, they were so well cast.
Oh,
And like, I love Fred Ward from like The Right Stuff. I don't
yeah.
know if you have 4 hours to spare to watch that, but it's one of my favorite movies. And he plays one of the astronauts. Reba McEntire, Victor Wong, who was in Big Trouble in Little China. Um, and was played the store owner. I always love him and everything, and I was uh glad that he was cast in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
I
wanted Mr. Miyagi, whose name I don't remember, but he wanted too much money, so they hired
oh,
Victor Wong
interesting.
instead.
Who's also absolutely incredible. I
Yes,
yeah, like I Fred Ward's so friggin' good in this, and like
I know.
and it's like I
I'm
know
I'm like, why? I wish he was in more stuff.
I wish he'd been like a man. I mean, he had like a big career, and I know he was like in a lot of things, but like I'm like. How was he not like a megastar? You know, he was just, I mean, he's just so effortless in this film, and like he's just doing such fun work. Like him and the chemistry between him and Valentine, who's Kevin Bacon's character, is just
So
fantastic.
good.
You
Oh, he
believe that they've worked
died.
together for years. Yeah, he did die, and I thought it was a while ago,
Oh,
which is like, is this why he hasn't had a big career? But only died a few years ago.
no. Yeah, 22.
But their chemistry is just fantastic. I see you really believe the bond that they have, and it's really kind of wonderful and fun in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. No, I really like I can't think of it's like sometimes I play the game of like who else would I have cast in this role?
yeah.
And I couldn't think of anybody better.
No, absolutely not. No.
No.
Um, but yeah, so
So
mhm.
there's some facts.
Hit me.
So Kevin Bacon really resented being in Tremors at first.
Hmm.
And I guess he was like needed the money because his wife was like pregnant with their first kid and he's got a new marriage.
Okay.
But he thought because I guess it wasn't like this was a sleeper hit and it didn't make a lot of money until it came out on video and people were renting it and became a cult classic. But because it didn't do well in the box office, he was just like, my career's over, basically. Um,
Interesting.
he was quoted in saying, "It's the worst thing I ever did." However, Bacon would eventually come around to Tremors, calling the filming of Tremors as being the single most fun time I've had making a movie in my entire career, which watching it, like it looked fun.
It does.
Um, so he gave an interview in 2020 and he said, when I was making Tremors, I was very depressed and at a low point in my life, and I kind of blamed Tremors for that. I was bitter against it. I thought it was a career killer. I never watched my movies more than once. Some of my movies I've never seen before and have no desire to, but I've watched Tremors a dozen times.
Love it.
I love it so much, and I spent years trying to capture the same energy we had on the set of Tremors. It's one of my favorite films of all time.
Amazing.
So even Kevin Bacon watches this. It's like
See,
whenever
like,
it comes on TV,
yeah,
you have to watch it.
absolutely. It's one of the because I was trying to place it as you're saying that I was like, where does this come in his career? And it is after Footloose.
Hmm.
So like, but like, it seems like that he maybe didn't quite skyrocket after that. It was kind of more in. Geez, maybe into the 90s whenever he started like becoming a bit bigger, or in
I think,
2000s.
I
That's
mean,
a
I don't
fascinating
think he's
career.
like, I mean, he's like an A+ actor, but it's not like he's got, it's like, I can't think of like one movie where, other than this one maybe, where I'm just like, this is totally like, you know, a masterpiece and Kevin Bacon, because he's been in so many things, right? So I
Yeah,
think he's like more of a character actor than a lead.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, yeah.
But he's made a career of, that's why there's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. He's in everything.
I wonder like how, valuable that was to his career, the 60 that the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah,
it meant that everybody was talking about him in a way, you know?
yeah, yeah. And like whoever
Interesting.
coined that, I don't, well, I should have looked into that a little bit more, but
Maybe it was him.
maybe.
He's just trying to spike interest in him. I love it. I mean, like, all for
Um,
it.
I know.
Whatever you've got to do, dude.
Whatever you gotta do. Yeah. So, and I guess there were only two interior sets in the entire movie.
Oh, really?
Walter's store, and then Bert and Heather's basement, the bunker.
Makes sense.
Everything else they filmed outside. It was all exterior.
Oh, wow. That's so rare as well. That's
I
great.
know. And also like Lone Pine, California in the heat of the day. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be brutal.
Brutal, but fun. Pole vaulting, you know?
Hell yeah. I mean, that keeps anyone cool. Probably.
Right?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question in my mind that this absolutely holds up. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I think this was
agreed.
an indulgence. Whenever I chose it, I was just like, I've had a busy week. I don't have a lot of
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
I want to do something fun.
yeah.
And something that there's no doubt in my mind that this would be entertaining and this would be, doesn't age at all, in my opinion. It's just
I agree.
timeless.
I agree. And it's like, I can't, maybe it's the setting, maybe it's like, what is it about this movie that makes it so timeless?
Yes.
I don't know. Like, what is the magic formula?
It's, it's like some other movies you've talked about where it's kind of like, it feels like lightning in a bottle in a lot of ways. Like it
Hmm.
feels like, obviously it is coasting off other movies of that type. And I mean, like, obviously this is quite a bit beforehand. Things like Jaws, other sort of monster movies and things like that, but like this has got like a foot in the sort of B movie genre as well. But like, I think that the actors, the direction really kind of elevates it from that. Do you know what I mean? And like, even though it is cheesy, it's corny, it's just so much fun, and it's just like joyous. And like, even though people die in it, it doesn't feel as grim and as heavy as like a lot of other horror movies feel. Like it's got a lightness throughout, despite you know you genuinely feeling that they're in peril, and that feels like such a hard balance to strike, and they did such a great job with that.
Yeah. And I think some of it was probably the musical score.
Yeah,
Because even though it's a heavy, heavy moment, the music, sometimes I'll just like when the kids will be watching something and I'll mute it and I'll be
yeah,
like, is it scary now? And they're like, no. And I'm like at that. So it's like that it was, there was suspenseful music, but it still had some humor element to it
yeah.
that I can't quite like put my finger on. But yeah, and like things that didn't work, like I just said it all worked. Like I don't care
I
about things that didn't.
I know absolutely. The thing that like I was trying to like figure out what it's called, but what I really kind of love as the setup for a movie as well is the we're done with this shit, and then you're dragged in for one last
Yeah.
thing. It's like the
Every time they tried to like try to get out, they pulled me
put
back
it back in,
in.
yeah, or even fucking murder in Lethal Weapon when it's like I'm too old for this shit, or like
Yes,
I'm one
yes,
week I'm 1 week from retirement.
yes. Totally,
You know?
totally. They're literally like trying to leave and then, the hillside falls and they can't
Yeah,
get out to one
exactly. It's
road.
such a great hook to pull people in before they
One
hit that
road.
like call to adventure or whatever. Um, yeah. Uh,
So what did you learn? Did you learn anything from watching this?
um, Kevin Bacon rocks. Fred Ward
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah.
Um, Tremors are not chill, and Tremors the movie is amazing.
Yeah. I just said we're blessed to have this movie.
Oh, truly, always good. Oh, such a great comfort watch, so much fun, and
Yeah.
yeah, just
Thank you for it feels like this like nice. I feel like I'm in like a cozy blanket of familiarity.
absolutely. And again, another one. This has been a constant refrain for me. Just a little bit over 90 minutes, which is just
Yeah.
perfect,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Do you have any other thoughts or things you've learned from it?
No, I don't think so.
Is it
Well,
time?
I guess I have one. So at the end, so they always do movie tests for audiences, and the test audience loved the movie, but at the end they would chant kiss her, kiss her, kiss her.
Okay.
So the studio paid for a quick reshoot featuring Valentine and Rhonda kissing.
Okay. Nice. That's
But they
good.
weren't going to end with that. It was just going to be like, we're
I
interested in each other, but too awkward to like,
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I get it, but like, I mean, I suppose of that era, that's what you expect at the end of a movie is
yes,
that if there's
yes,
a male and female lead, they're gonna
yes,
kiss, you know.
yep, yep.
Um, I love it. Yeah. So just I suppose time for we wrap up to get on to everybody's favorite part of my movie review, which is
Wait, wait, yeah. I was like, are you passing over the thing that
no,
I
no,
need to
hell
know?
no, no, no,
Okay,
no, which is too
okay.
legit to fit. Who are the best outfits
Yes.
in the movie?
This is what I've been waiting for this whole hour, Andy.
This answer might surprise you.
Okay.
It's all 100% unequivocally Earl. I like Earl. I like Earl's look.
Really?
Right? Yeah, I know.
I thought you might
Valentine.
go with the pottery lady who was like wearing like all the weird like artist outfits.
He's got this good. They're nice too, and I think that also Valentine has some sweet fits as well. But
Yeah,
I feel like Earl just has that sort of modern urban cowboy sort of look in just a sort of
totally.
kind of beautiful way. I think also his like I honestly don't. I'm not a goatee fan, but like goddamn, but does Fred Ward make a goatee
Yeah,
look good?
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. Agreed.
Fred
Agreed.
Ward for days.
Yeah. Although Valentine's cowboy hat kind of
Yeah, I mean that's what was
made,
that.
yep.
That's what was giving me pause. But I just I think I'm just in love with Fred Ward in this movie.
Me too. Yeah.
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 So yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, why not? Why wouldn't you be?
Exactly.
Love it. So final thing to do is to give it rate it. We're either going to think about it as a revisit, a remember, a refuse, or a redo. What's your thoughts?
Totally revisit.
100%.
Everybody go watch this movie if you want to like zone out and just be, yeah,
It's sheer entertainment. It
it
really is.
totally is.
Like I have no problems with it. I have zero bad things to say about this movie. Anything
Yeah.
that sounded like a criticism was just me going,
No.
oh, okay, I need to analyze this a bit more. I just love it
Yeah.
from beginning
Yeah.
to end.
I'm just like,
Um,
no notes. No notes.
I kind of was like, I had written revisit and redo, but like there have been many sequels. I haven't seen any of them.
I
I've
haven't
heard
either.
actually I might have seen the one with because I think most of them are about. I think I've only seen the third one bizarrely because it's about the guy like the couple Reba McEntire's husband. I need it. Bert, is it Bert maybe?
Bert.
Bert, like it's basically him hunting them essentially. I think I've
Yeah.
seen one of them, but I was like, yeah,
Yes.
it's not for me. And
Yeah.
like they were for a while trying to do a TV show with Kevin Bacon, but it didn't kind of get anywhere. So I think just best remember as this perfect kind of moment in sort of like horror monster filmmaking.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I have no notes. I absolutely revisit. And
It rocks.
yeah, I just really, really enjoy. I forget how much I like the monster genre,
Yeah,
and I appreciated that it wasn't CG. Like it's
yeah.
just like the pacing was great. I everything about it was just great.
Because we were talking about like how much we both I mean like and I feel like this is not a uncommon thought to have, but how much we both like models in movies and like physical
Yeah,
practical models, and this is such a great example of that as well.
yeah. I watched the new Superman, and it was like, eh.
Oh, really?
The dog was nice. Yeah, I was like, it's there's something missing. There's something missing,
Interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I totally get
even
it.
with the dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I get
So
it.
it's just this, they're like you call it lightning in a bottle.
Yep,
And there are many movies that are that. And yeah, this is totally one of them.
it is.
So,
Love it. Yeah, revisit everyone. It absolutely
hmm
rocks. Or if you haven't
hmm
seen it before, visit it. You will
yeah,
not be disappointed.
no. And
Uh,
I wish that it was like a Rocky Horror type thing or like a The Room type thing where
yeah.
like they would do showings and people would be weird and like, yell out the lines and like yell about prairie dog holes and laugh at Earl when he thinks he's but
Stampede!
yeah, exactly. It was great.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, love it. So all right, in that case, time to get on to a final week section of the podcast. Beth, what has been bringing you joy
So I
this
signed the
week?
kids up. I'm trying to get them into activities,
Uh-huh.
because this is what you do as a parent, I guess.
Yeah.
So Charles, I'm trying to help him work on his like emotional regulation.
Uh-huh.
And so I got him signed up for jujitsu.
Okay.
So he goes, it's called a key, which is like your outfit that you wear, and you have
Yeah.
a belt and you tie it a certain way. And I know nothing about it. So he had his first class on Saturday. Harper came, my daughter, to watch, and he loved it. He
Great.
smiled the entire time. He had no idea what he was doing, but like all of a sudden he knows how to break someone's arm and like is tee, isn't that funny? But it's just like I'm watching it and I'm thinking with my yoga brain,
Hmm.
and it's just like I can see like the mental balance you need to have, the physical, is acuity the right word? I don't know, but it's just like I can see the power that can come
Yeah,
from within by taking this Brazilian martial art.
absolutely.
And so we then got Harper signed up for a musical dance class, and then she was like, I really think I want to do jujitsu too. So she went last night. So and again, same thing, smiling, now knows how to break someone's arm. But just these kids are just amazing.
That rocks.
And they're kind. I had an assumption about the type of people that would sign up for jujitsu,
Yes.
and they're all the nicest. They're helpful. They're kind. They're listening to the teachers. They're without being asked. They're like setting things up or breaking things down. Um, you know, Harper was talking to one kid, and I'm like, "Do you guys like where do you guys know each other from?" She's like, "We just met." I'm like, "Oh my God, you're being so like helpful and kind." And she's like, "You're like this little girl's like you're doing such a good job for your first time." Like I
That
was
rocks.
just really impressed, and
I
they're
th
doing it, and I'm glad.
I think that like, because I think I probably would have felt the same, but like I think yeah, at the kind of best version of those things is it's all about discipline and control
Yes,
and treating
yes,
people with respect,
yes, yeah,
and and also like what you're talking about there, such a powerful sort of way to connect body and mind in a really
yeah,
kind of like great
yeah.
way. So that
And
rocks.
I didn't understand, I guess, like as I'm just, such a newbie in this life in general that you could get that same thing without getting it through yoga.
Yeah,
Like mind, body, spirit is you can find it anywhere if you look.
absolutely.
So
Love it.
yeah, that's my joy. It was
Oh,
so I was last night I was just like uh, I wasn't looking at my phone. I was just like watching them for an hour. It was the coolest, sweetest thing. So,
great. And I've got to do a dumb one about comic books, Beth.
oh yay! I'm gonna send you photos of them like
Please
looking
do.
awesome and like kicking ass.
I'd love to. I would absolutely love to see that. Yeah, I'm so happy that that is working out well for them. I really,
Yeah,
really am. That's great.
I know. Thank you.
Um,
All right, what's your dumb thing about
so like I haven't been reading a lot of new stuff these days, and like I've
hmm
been revisiting old stuff, which is great, and I love it. But I recently was like, I'm treating myself to some new stuff to see what it's like. Um, one of which I bought, and I found that the series has been cancelled, and it was so cool. Anyway,
Oh.
but there's one that only came out in the past few years. It's called Kea, and it's like basically a fantasy sort of like it's kind of like a mix between like a fantasy sci-fi world, and it's so much fun. It's just like basically the last in this kind of world where there's like lizard men and fish men and this kind of like robot sort of race. There are these last two humans, one of whom is a prince, the other is his half sister who's trying to like bring him to the place where he's going to like fulfill his destiny essentially. So it's like a walkabout type thing, but it's one of these where what I really love is a world that has feels like it's been lived in. It feels authentic. It feels like there's
hmm
all these history between people and races and so on and so forth that like kind of builds what has but builds up to what you're seeing now, and it just does delivers that so well, and it's just been so nice because I feel like really out of the comics world these days to like
Yeah.
touch base again and be like, oh, there's still some really incredible stuff being done here.
That's amazing. What's it called again?
Kaya,
Okay,
K-A,
yeah.
Kaya.
Huh.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
And also like, it's also like so basically the lead character, Kaya, is the sister, and she's this like badass warrior who has like a kind of metal arm. So it's pretty kick-ass.
That's awesome. So back to Superman.
Sure.
The dog is literally my dog.
Yeah.
Crypto is Star.
I I'm glad
So,
I'm glad Star doesn't have crypto strength and or flying.
oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So I know what she's gonna be for Halloween. Because the kids were just like, that's our dog. I'm like, oh,
That's amazing.
she's so badly behaved.
Oh my God. See if Star gets a crypto cape. I need
I
it. I need
know.
I
Yeah,
need
it's gonna
pictures.
happen.
I
Like
need
Mike took her
pictures.
for a walk last night and he was like, I've had to pick her up because she was like trying to attack other dogs. I'm like, God damn it. So I got her a new harness. Bless her
Oh,
little heart. Yeah.
what a sweetie.
Anyways. Yeah, yeah.
All right, nice. Okay, Beth, can you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us at bendypodcast.com.
Nice.
Tell your friends. Tell your
Yes,
friends.
please do. All right, folks. And in that case, as always, we'd like to remind you to
Stay
stay bendy.
bendy.
Nice. Did you
And
get
watch
this?
Tremors.
Watch Tremors. Yeah, we love you.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.